Hi there, everybody, and welcome back to the Toon Review YouTube channel. My name's Paul. Thank you so much for tuning in. The Cup final is just around the corner, of course, for the football club and for us as fans. We cannot wait. However, there is a Premier League game before then, of course, against West Ham on Monday. And for me, that's a game that we need to go out and perform in. We need to get a bit of momentum going into this cup final, and certainly the last few performances for Newcastle, we haven't had that momentum, and that is the worrying thing about this cup final for me. Some of these players that we have in this team simply haven't turned up recently and need to pull the fingers out the backside if we're to get anything. But the Premier League, as Eddie Howe has stated many times, is also the bread and butter. And we need to continue to keep pushing for the top four. Whether we think we're going to get there or not at the minute, we need to keep pushing. And this West Ham game is a big game because we need to keep up there with the others who are challenging for top four, because my fear is we lose at West Ham, we lose the cup final, and all momentum for this season just drifts away. And we can't afford that to happen. That is down to the players and down to the manager to keep that going. So we will see in time how that develops, of course, on Monday and in the cup final. That doesn't stop the news coming through for Newcastle United either. Apparently we are looking at a Turkish international playmaker in the summer. Now there is various reports coming in all the time that Newcastle United are already in preparation for the summer transfer window, identifying targets here and there. Now look, we're not in the know here. We have no idea. I'm just giving you what I see in the reports, and then we make our own mind up after that. But I think it is common knowledge that we will be active in this transfer window this summer. Apparently, Eddie Howe has been told he can spend. Now, there is people saying that Eddie Howe may not be at the club if we don't perform in this back end of the season. But let's just wait and see what happens on that. But there will be money to spend. Kevin Keegan has spoken out as well regarding the new stadium and the manager himself. So, interesting comments from King Kev. And as I record this video, Newcastle United are still pondering whether to appeal the red card given to Anthony Gordon on Sunday. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But we'll start off with the Turkish playmaker. That is Inter Milan midfielder Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Now, Çalhanoğlu is a winner. He is a winner. 95 times he's been capped by Turkey so far. Touted as one of the best free kick takers in world football. So this guy can definitely play. Now, the one thing that puts me off when I'm reading the various reports on him this morning, he's 31 years old. So, Newcastle United, are we trying to get away from the sort of older generation at the club, bring in fresh new players who are a bit younger, who can maybe take the club forward for years to come? Or are we looking at, a couple of experienced players to come in as well with those younger players who have won things? Because I think that's a very important factor. It's all right saying that we're going to bring in young players and hungry young players. That's fine. But we also need players who have experience of winning things. Winners is very important to have in the team, who know, who've been there, who've done it, who can continue to help these young kids come on in leaps and bounds. Now, Çalhanoğlu for me would be a good signing. Would he be the marquee signing that everybody's looking for? Absolutely not. No, he's 31. But he's won things at Inter Milan. He's very, very highly thought of. Bayern Munich as well are a team that are also interested in Çalhanoğlu. And that says to me that if teams like Bayern Munich are interested in him, then there is no doubt that he still has something to give. Newcastle United have reportedly scouted him on numerous occasions, and he is on a list of potential targets for the summer. Like I say, Newcastle United know they can spend a little bit of money this summer because of the past 3 transfer windows when we've done naff all. So it is an opportunity to bring some players in. And obviously, they're not going to wait till the last minute to target players, are they? They're going to want to have potential targets. They're going to scout players. They're going to contact representatives to see what the availability of these players will be. And Çalhanoğlu is one of those. He certainly could come in and do a job for me. His experience, he's won things. He's a fantastic player, 95 times capped for Turkey, so his international experience is through the roof. This guy knows football inside out. But like I say, whether we want to bring a 31-year-old in, I mean, obviously it wouldn't be a long-term deal for Çalhanoğlu, would it? Maybe a couple of years, but he'd certainly come in and offer a lot more in the midfield. And remember, we're needing those elite players in the team who've been there and done that, as well as the youth. So for me, it would be a potentially good signing. No transfer fee has been reported yet, but we are looking at him. Also, on the transfer front, Lille midfielder Angel Gomez is still apparently on the radar for Newcastle United. Of course, I reported a couple of weeks ago that there was plenty in the media regarding the England international coming over and playing in the Premier League after his time at Lille has come to an end. Now, Gomez, again, is another midfielder. We need to bulk up this squad. Remember what we've been saying about bringing quality in for quality. When, you bring in an elite player off the field for a substitution, you want to try and replace him with similar quality. And maybe the signings of Calhanoglu and obviously Gomez as well, that would take us up to the next level to make sure that we have quality in the whole squad. Eddie Howe needs to be able to rotate. And we've seen the struggles this season of not being able to rotate. I mean, yes, sometimes he can, Fabian Schär, for instance. But, other times his hands are tied. And he just hasn't got the quality to come off the bench that's coming off the field. So we need that. We need a big squad. We need a talented squad. So you can expect names like these being mentioned all the way up to the summer transfer window. It could be quite exciting, this one, for Newcastle fans. Now, Kevin Keegan, the Messiah, the King, has spoken out regarding the new stadium. Of course, do we get rid of St James's Park? Do we build a new stadium? Well, King Kev feels that the final decision in all of this will come down to the supporters themselves. He feels like PIF will give the supporters the options and they will go off the supporter feedback as to whether they build a new stadium or extend St James's Park. Now, I think there's got to be a bit of leeway here. I don't think it'll be just the fans' decision because PIF and Newcastle United themselves will put forward the options to the Newcastle fans. The fan base can give opinions, but at the end of the day, I think the final decision is going to be down to PIF. For revenue purposes, what brings the best revenue? What is the best route to go down for the football club? But it's nice that the fans will obviously, get a say in this. It's a big step for Newcastle United. It's a big step for us as fans as well. If we do end up leaving St James's Park, that is going to be a huge moment for all of us, especially the older fans who've only known St James's Park going since they were kids with their dads and granddads. It's a big move when you move stadiums, and Kevin Keegan alluded to that when he's been up in Gosforth recently for a charity event, and he was saying that when he was at Manchester City, they had the same situation with Main Road. There was a lot of comeback on the fans because they didn't want to leave Main Road, but the fact is it had been run down, it hadn't been looked after properly, and the stadium was literally falling apart. The Commonwealth Games came to Manchester, of course, and then the option was to move to the stadium, which is obviously now, as we know, the Etihad. And Manchester City have built an infrastructure around that stadium, which is quite frankly superb. But the fans initially, they weren't very happy about moving from Main Road, and rightly so. Main Road had its history, etc., as all the other clubs that have moved stadiums. You look at the two up here, Middlesbrough and, of course, Sunderland moving to new stadiums. Their grounds were historical for their own reasons, but eventually you do have to move on. There is a stage in all aspects of life where you have to try and move on to better yourselves. And I think that St James's Park, I don't know, I feel like it's had its purpose. Yes, I'd be gutted to leave it because, grew up there going with my dad, granddad, family, all that sort of thing, like many, many fans have. But moving to a new stadium is a big event. But I do think that's the final route that Newcastle United will take. Now, he did speak a bit about Eddie Howe as well, and he believes that Eddie Howe is the man that will bring that elusive trophy to Newcastle United. 70 years domestically, it's been a very, very long time, but King Kev has said that Eddie Howe, after speaking to him, he was in the area not long ago doing a theatre presentation. Eddie Howe was there, spoke to Eddie Howe a few times, and he feels after speaking to him, actually before speaking to him, he thought a lot of Eddie Howe, but after speaking to him, he genuinely believes that Eddie Howe is the man to bring that elusive trophy to St James's Park. Now, not everybody will agree with that because there is fans who really have had it with Eddie Howe. I guess you see it every week when we don't win games. There is some who don't feel like Eddie can take us to the next level. Keegan, however, he does. He feels like Eddie Howe is the man, and we just need patience and support for him. But you know what? It's strange when you see the decisions that Eddie makes at times are confusing. I'm still 100% behind Eddie, of course, but he's got to improve these strange decisions that he makes by playing Fabian Schär, who is completely out of form, bringing Nick Pope back for no apparent reason, which is completely backfired. It's those sort of things that I think Eddie needs to improve on. But it's good to hear from Kevin Keegan. I'd just love to see him at St James's Park again, and as a special guest. I'm sure War Flags would do a fantastic presentation for him as well. And finally, Anthony Gordon, the red card situation at Newcastle United. Will they appeal? Will they not? It looks, as I record this video, as if not. There's nothing done yet, no appeal. Newcastle have to be very, very careful with this, of course, because there is, if they do appeal, they can get an extension to that appeal, or if they are successful, they can get it rescinded, or just down to a one-match ban. Of course, the whole rigmarole involves around playing in the Carabao Cup. And, it was a silly thing for Gordon to do. But having looked at various ex-referees' opinions on it and things like that, they feel that it was a red card. You cannot raise your hands like that. Even if he went to push him in the back, he didn't. It was high in the face, on the side of the head. That is a red card. If you follow the rules of football, it is a red card. And to try and get that overturned for Newcastle United, I think is going to be extremely difficult. Really difficult. So, for me, I don't think the club appeal. I don't think they even go down that route. But if they do, I still don't see it being rescinded. I don't know about you guys. I just don't see it being rescinded. I think it was a silly thing for Anthony to do, but he's done it, and unfortunately now must serve his punishment. I just can't see it getting rescinded. If it does, fantastic. But when you look back to what happened with Fabian Schär at the start of the season against Southampton, that didn't get rescinded. So this one, for me, has no chance. But you just never know in football, but it is Newcastle United, and people will do their best to give us no chance in the cup final, of course. But we'll see what happens, but I don't foresee that happening. But thank you very much for watching the video, guys. As usual, if you have enjoyed it, please do give it a like. Very important for the channel to keep those coming in. And of course, if you're new, please do subscribe to this fantastic community we have on the Toon Review. It is free to do so. Make sure that you hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live show. And we will see you very soon, folks. Thanks for watching. Take care.